Well, how y'all are this afternoon? This is your buddy George Jones over here at the Barricade gun range with my next installment on 8. Let's do a little bit of firearms training. Let's talk about this for a minute. So, there are all kinds of characters out there who are offering self-defense firearms training and charging heavenly amounts of money for it. And over the past year, I've attended some of these classes and paid for them. Boy, I'm telling you, some of these guys, they don't know how to them a hole in the ground. I'm just going to tell you, they've got all kinds of fancy instructor Earl methods that they use to try and impart some sort of firearms training. They have all kinds of wild scenarios that they want you to shoot. You know, you're an Ethiopian orphan armed with a club and a claymore mine. It's just all kinds of nonsense, ridiculous stuff. Only one of them that I saw actually attended to the fundamentals of basic firearms operation, marksmanship, and defensive drills in any kind of a meaningful way. And he wasn't a local guy. I had to go looking for him. However, with all of that in mind, I have decided that I would make a video or a series of videos on basic personal defense with a firearm, demonstrating drills that you can adopt and utilize to make yourself and the people around you a little safer without having to spend $5,000 and go out of state to do it. So the following video consists of some basic tactical drills that you can use in a self-defense situation. You know, and just review the video and see what you think. And, you know, if you don't like it, tell me in the comments you don't like it. All right, then. Here we go. We'll see you when we see you. Well, how y'all are? I'm going to demonstrate some drills to you. Multiple assailant drills. So, if you're in a situation where they kick the door in at 3 o'clock in the morning, you rolled out of bed and armed yourself, you look down the hallway and there's a gang of them. And I'll guarantee you, in this day and age, there'll be a gang of them. So what do? Well, my solution is put 2 in the first assailant, 1 in the second. And that looks something like this. Okay? 2 in the first guy, 1 in the second. Okay, and if the second guy is still a threat, put 2 in him. Or 2 in the first guy again if he's still up and moving. Because you don't know. Now, we used to have a thing called a Mozambique drill. What that is 2 in the head, 2 in the groin. The reason for this is body armor. Nowadays, thugs can go to the flea market and buy body armor. You put 2 in his chest and nothing happens, then you go to Mozambique drill. Like that. That generally works. That 2 in the groin generally works. Now, what if you got 3 assailants? Okay? One guy's there, one guy's there, and one guy's down there where that steel target is. 25 yards is typically a little bit farther away than you want to engage. But you know, if the guy's got an axe or a shotgun, you might want to think about it. Roll him out. I had a magazine. Don't know what I did with it. Which creates another problem. Keeping up with your mag. So let's start again. That would be 2 in this guy, 1 in that guy, and 1 in that guy. Something like this. You see that? I hit the 25-yard target.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's a basic multiple assailant drill. Now, what happens in a multiple assailant drill in real life? You shoot the first guy, he goes down or starts waddling, and then the rest of the home invasion gang, they hit the door. If they're hitting the door, don't shoot them in the back. All right then, let's cut that off and move on to the next thing. So what I want to talk about now is barricade. Barricade shooting. So a barricade is actually in your home or in a building or out on the street. It's typically a corner. Okay, well, you got a wall here and it goes that way. Okay, that's a barricade. You got to shoot around that guy in some fashion or another while using the barricade for cover. So it looks something like this. Now imagine that this is a lot taller. Okay? So it looks something like this. Now you want to have your body behind the edge of the barricade as much as you possibly can. It doesn't do you any good to be out here like this. Okay? What does you some good is when you're utilizing the cover to cover up most of your body. And I've got a big body, so it's really hard for me. Okay, you don't want to have your foot out here. You want to have it back here. If it comes to it, you need to bend at the waist and come over to it. Now the way I engage barricade is I put the back of my hand against it. Put the back of my hand against the barricade, and then I bring my hand up to it like this. Okay? And then I lean out there and engage. Okay? I put my knuckles or the back of my hand against it, come up to it like this, exposing as little of my body as possible to engage the target. Okay? Now, this could be the doorway from your bedroom into the hall. It could be where the hall turns into the living room. It could be the refrigerator. Okay? It could be any number of things. In an active shooter situation, it could be the corner of a hallway. It could be the door of your office. Okay? But that's basically barricade shooting, and it looks like this. Pretty simple concept, but effective and useful, especially when the assailant has a weapon. All right then, let's move on to the next drill. On the barricade drill, I left something out. I was inequipped. Okay? So, barricade with a revolver is a little bit different as with an automatic because you got some options available to you. Now, in the old days, we used to shoot barricade competition with low-powered .38 ammo, and I would actually get up here like this and put my finger around there like like a pool cue grip. It don't work with a 357 Magnum loaded with plus P. So what you can do with a revolver is you can use the front knuckle of the frame to engage your barricade. And it looks something like this. Okay, and then you get out there like that. .22 don't move it much. It's a good gun. Prop master, take over. Next thing I want to talk to you about is close range defense with a handgun. That's arm's length. Okay? So, however you got into that position, you're at arm's length now. So, how do you deal with that, and why should you practice it? Well, I'm going to tell you something. It's kind of traumatic. Okay? It's kind of traumatic when you have to use it at close range. Okay? A person is used to a gun going off up here. Alright? Bam, bam. They go to the range, they shoot, bam, bam. Okay? But when it goes off right here, okay, it's kind of frightening. Okay? So you got to get used to it. You got to get used to that. Because sooner or later it's going to happen. Poor old Benghazi Bob ain't doing too good. But you have to be emotionally prepared for that sudden violence of action. Because if you're at this range, he's got his hands on your throat, okay? Or you're having to sweep a weapon away, you know, to get him. And these are things you need to practice. These are concepts you need to be down with. All right, let's move on to the next thing. What the hell is snoo?
I don't know, what's snoo with you?
You know, that's the kind of nonsense we ought to be making videos about. There's a reason why I'm not a 1 million subscriber video, because I don't.
You're not silly enough.
I'm not silly enough. I don't do stupid stuff. Okay, now, you're getting carjacked. Now, carjacking offers a particular problem. There you are. You stop at a stoplight. The fella in front of you is part of the carjack team. Can you see me on that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The guy behind you comes up, boom, he bumps you. Okay. And then you look in your rearview mirror and you see 4 or 5 guys getting out of that car. What are you going to do? Well, I want to drop her down in low, ease up on the car in front of me, and hit the gas. That's what I'm going to do, because this is obviously a carjacking scenario. Now, in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, you can use deadly physical force to defend yourself from a carjacking whether the assailant is armed with a firearm or not. Specifically mentioned in statute, but in other states, you'll have to investigate. In this situation, you need to have a gun that you can get out. Now, this holster is probably not the best holster to be wearing in a vehicle. I go to the console, and I come out with a Star BM or a 1911 9mm or something like that, and we go from there, okay? But if it wasn't in that situation, you had to use what you got. Now, you dry fire practice this a lot for the simple reason that A, if you drive a decent vehicle, you're liable to get carjacked. If you live in a big city, you might get carjacked. If you live in a small town, not so much so, because everybody knows everybody. Stand on the side of the road, the cops show up and say, Billy Bob's son Brian just stole my car. They don't get very far. Okay? But let's say you had to draw in the normal fashion. Now the thing you need to do is draw in the normal fashion, but make sure that you don't laze yourself. Make sure that the gun doesn't cross here. Make sure that the gun doesn't come in contact with your body in such a way that when you discharge a weapon, you shoot yourself. Okay? So this is something you should practice. This is a drill you should practice on your own to make sure that you can get it right and get it out without having to worry. Okay? Without lazing yourself or somebody else in the vehicle. Now, do you shoot them right off the bat? No, I would probably wait for them to break my window or present a weapon or whatever, okay? The chances are if there's one at your window, there's one over here. I'm not going to shoot over there because my pickup truck's sitting over there and I just got it paid off, okay? You're not liable to laze yourself in that direction, but you're liable to laze someone else, a passenger or something. You know, in my case, it'd be the dog. I wouldn't want to do that. But the main thing about getting one out in a car is remembering not to point the gun at part of your body, okay? And that's where you're at. Just like if you're shooting from the hip at close range, bring that arm back to your chest and come out and around and present your weapon, okay? And in real time, it looks something like this, okay? Don't laze yourself. Okay, that's enough of that foolishness. Let's try something else. There's 10 millimeters laying all over the place out here.